Item number 4 is discussion of the airport manager's report and monthly financial.
Okay, first off, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Coit Garrison. He's our new airport operations manager. And he'll be our new part-time annual employee. So I look forward to working with him and him teaching me some of the things he knows already. Learning to drive the tractors. Okay, the first thing is, since we are going to be discussing the runway taxiway rehabilitation later on the agenda, I'm going to go ahead and pass that up. The omnidirectional approach lights also, we'll be discussing that a little bit later. We've got some information on the hangar development, which would be hangar 20B and 20C. We'll be discussing that a little bit later. So the main thing that I have right now would be the airport services project, the pilot's lounge. At this time, the bidder's proposal for the airport's pilot's lounge, if you guys will look, it is attached towards the back. We just put that, well, we're putting it out for it would be an acceptance with the city council to do advertising. So that will go out. What they've done is they've broken it up into 6 different areas. The areas are stated on the second page of the bid. Into the framing, the drywall and wall texture, the electrical, the HVAC, the drop ceiling system, plumbing and plumbing fixtures, the doors and door hardware. On August 18th is when we will request the council to solicit for bids at the council meeting. Then we will move forward on that. And we'll get you more information following. The runway taxi, or the discussion on runway taxiway out project will be discussed also a little bit later. In the airport buildings and the grounds, one of the mowers, the older zero-turn radius mower, is in the shop due to lack of oil. So what we've done is we've done a maintenance checklist, weekly log of mowing equipment, so we can reinforce this to prevent future mishaps. What's happened is that we failed to check the oil previous to. So what we've done is we've gone through and done a checklist. It's in the storage building now. I'm not sure when we're going to get storage building out in the maintenance equipment shop. I've talked to it's been to the city for repair. We don't know if we have to send it out or what's going on with it right now. I'm waiting to hear back from Benny to see where
you don't know
if
it's 100% replacement on the engine?
It's too old. Yeah, I don't have that information, so we can check on that. I'll make a note of that. So also, but even though with all that being said, that the part-time employees and the interns, I just lost 2 of them today, the full-time or the part-timer, that's where Coy has stepped in. We had a part-time intern, they both left today, so we're down to just myself and Coit. They have been working diligently, and even though that happened with the lawnmower, they've been doing a really great job around here. So we're trying to keep caught up. We've got the runway and all those areas out by the taxiways and runways. We're trying to attack the hangar areas and get those taken care of also. We'll continue to mow, of course, for the beautification process. We continue to do the inspections of Port Pod during the construction and the taxiway, and look for any issues that we have out there. The engineer's been really good staying on top of the projects and making sure that everything is safe and everybody's abiding to their specs. Also, we did have a problem with the gate next to Hangar 13. I want to number the gates because I'm used to that one of these days. But the gate next to Hangar 13, we had issues. It was reported to me by a tenant. So we were able to troubleshoot that, fix it. We thought it might be a keypad issue. Unfortunately, those are the same controller boxes that I've dealt with out at Westheimer and have a little bit of troubleshooting experience. So we were able
Is that the 2 mailbox hanger? Is that? vacate the 2 mailbox hangars?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm getting familiar with where everything is and what hangars are what and who's who and the layout of land. So that's a good one. I like that. I'll try to refer to that.
Yeah,
Well,
that chain has been loose before. I've reported that a year and a half ago or something.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it tends to get loose or it bends and stretches. May need another idler.
And I do know how to tighten those up and take care of that, so we'll look into that also. That's absolutely. As far as wildlife management, we've not had any wildlife issues at the time of this report in the last 2 weeks. We did spot a skunk. We'll keep an eye on that. If we have a problem on that, we will trap it and make sure it's not a danger to pilots coming in. He's not anywhere near the runway. He's near the Pappies, which is quite a ways away from the runway, and he heads west from the Pappies. It's down on runway 34. So we really don't have too big of an issue with him. Not seeing any problems with birds, coyotes, or any of the deer population yet.
So have we asked USDA or do they think they have that jurisdiction? I've never heard of this relationship before.
Yes, we have a contract with them where they come out yearly. That we have a yearly contract with them, and they come out periodically. If it goes over a certain amount of hours, then they charge $40 an hour. So we keep track of those hours. And I don't have that number. I think it could be 80. I don't even want to give you a number. I'm not sure what that number is. But
And we've had that in place for a number of
yeah,
years.
we have. And it used to be higher, but Justin got it down because we didn't have a big problem and they weren't coming out as
Never
often.
found anything.
Right. So he does make periodic checks, and then I've asked him if he would to just let me know so I can log that.
And I think the high fencing around, when they redid the new high fencing around the salt, because there used to be quite a bit of deer on there, I believe.
That's what I understand.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones that were responsible to get Martin to take those deer feeders down on that fence line over there. Not help them.
And Joe probably knows better than anybody.
Yeah, he probably harvested a few of those. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate that.
Joe hunts a little bow and arrow.
Somebody just outside the park.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Convenient for us.
And then last is, I just want to remind everybody about our Guthrie-Edmond Aviation Association is planning an annual Community Day fly-in, and that will be Saturday, September 26th. We will be having a meeting following this one. If you guys care to join us, we'd love your input. And that's all I have for you.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on
Just
what
one,
she's covered so far?
yeah, just one question, because obviously I'm new to the group. Do we have, and we don't have to maybe disclose it here, we can talk about it later, but do we have a budget for FF&E for the pilot's lounge after we get it constructed? Just for furniture and TV and whatever
I'll
else?
check on that.
Just
I don't
curious
have
if we
those
thought
numbers
about that
set.
next future.
Right. I can get back with you
Okay.
trying on that, absolutely.
I have a kind of question in line with Trace. We originally, this has been out for.
It was out for bid once and it
Basically.
came back considerably higher, so they broke it up and it's going out again. I think what Trey was talking about was furnishing it and so on and so forth.
Right, just fixtures, furniture, and equipment, whatever we decide that, I mean, if we need to be budgeting that into our future projection, if we want to put a couple of loungers or a nice sofa or a TV, a big screen TV.
I think we've had some people that have decided that they would like to donate to that,
Yeah.
but nothing is set for sure on it.
We
The only
have,
thing we've got right now, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, is the budget for building.
correct,
Okay.
yes.
Well, and I was just thinking
Now,
a computer to set up for
Correct.
pilots,
Well,
obviously.
what I know we have right now, as far as what's in in my office, we've got a large screen TV. So I know that that's supposed to go in the pilot's lounge.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 ceiling fans that are supposed to be installed in the pilot's lounge. I've heard that the Pilots Association was going to help with furnishing that, but that was only through donations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it and the extent as far as the conversation that I am aware of. We do have pictures, we have airplanes that we can either hang from the ceiling or place somewhere.
Airplane wallpaper, wow.
But the pictures, I've had a couple donated that they would like to stay with the airport. So all of that stuff that I have in my office, not all, but all the stuff that's been donated will go into that Pilot's Lounge. So we're slowly getting more. I think by the time we get it built, we're gonna have a really good response to that and have better figures, better numbers for you at that time.
Trey, I think that's one of those things that once it
happens.
starts rolling, things are gonna start coming.
Yeah, we're good.
Pretty good for that to do that.
Okay, no more questions on that. Let's go to item number 5, discussion of the omnidirectional approach lighting system, the ODL project.
Okay, and as I put in here, we went out and did a site inspection, well, pretty much just on-site to see what it was all about. We had a construction meeting back on August 7th, and they've completed towers 1 and 2. The piers, those are complete. They still have conduit to install on that. Those particular towers, one is across the road and one is inside the road. The number of the piers start outside the road is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up to where the rails are at the end of the runway. They have started the conduit on that. Libra workers, during this time, what happened is everything that transpired when we opened up the runway, the ODLs, we still have work left to do on those. So we will have the contractors in there, but there will not be any equipment in there for safety reasons. They will still be doing work in the safety area. They are to monitor the radios and listen for anybody incoming traffic. When they hear that, they will get in their vehicle and leave out. There will be a vehicle. Equipment and vehicles are a little bit different. They don't look at equipment or vehicles as being equipment. So yeah, they will have a vehicle. They will have to leave the safety area. I've asked that, well, we hope that everybody will make their base calls to the runway. That gives them enough time to get out of the safety area, wait for that airplane to land. If there's somebody in that pattern doing work, or pattern work, then they'll have to wait till that's complete. They're all on board with that, because it's all, safety is our first thing that we want to do. The project, they hope, is projected to be completed on the 17th of August, but that probably won't happen. It looks like it's going to be more towards the end of the month. They're not running, the biggest problem that they're having is that the tower, if you will, it looks like a regular 4 tower. It kind of goes up. If you look out at the rotating beacon, it kind of looks like something like that, but it's a lot more massive. That tower has to be galvanized, weatherized, and that's what, it's not just an off-the-shelf item. So because they're having a special order that is what the holdup is. There's no other problems, it's just building that. Once that tower goes up, then they have that pole that goes on the top that holds the lights that will be up on top. The rest of it has been installed, so those towers and the galvanization of those, that's what a little bit of the holdup is. One thing that I did think about while we're out there, actually, I think it was Coit that brought it up, was a really good point, and that we are addressing, was when a pilot is sitting at the hold short line at the north end of the runway, waiting to get on the runway, and it's at nighttime, those lights come up, he gets blasted in the eye, that ruins that 30-minute span that he had for the darkness. So, you have to wait 30 minutes for your eyes to adjust before flying. So when you get out there and those rails pop on, say somebody's coming in for a landing, and he's clicking that clicker to get those lights to come on. When he's coming in for that landing, those lights are going to be on. This pilot's sitting here waiting, and he gets blasted by this light. So what we've asked is, can we put some kind of a shield, like they're doing for the Walmart parking lot? So the engineer's going to look into that. But I thought it was a great idea. I mean, it was really neat that it was brought up. So he's going to check into that. And that's all I have on that right now. I'll keep you guys posted and up with the emails on that.
So, to bring on, night lights, the ODLs will come on with the runway lights, they'll be off otherwise?
absolutely.
It'll be the same pipe.
Now, the one thing that I did find out in the construction meeting that I was not aware of is that these odals are installed with one setting. Your runway lights are your 3, 5, and 7, or low, medium, and high. But when you turn on those odals, they're going to come up at their highest intensity. Whether it's a medium or, it's not a low, it's a pretty good intensity. It's going to light up that whole north end, that black box down there. So, and there's just one setting, so it will pop on and stay on the same, I think it's 15 minutes they stay on, normal lighting control.
So this might be a silly question, but I mean, our approach minimums are pretty low anyway here. Is it gonna lower our approach minimum with the odals in place?
The odals actually will, as far as, it's instead of 1 mile visibility, it'll be 3/4.
Okay.
That's
That's
all,
all it's
it's
gonna
not really, yeah.
Alright, so you'll get around 3/4 mile.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, let's go to item number 6, discussion of the runway and taxiway A project.
Okay, as I hope everybody knows, we opened up the runway already, and that was on August 7th. Everything was completed with the exception of your joint sealing. That is where I sent out an email today that will require 3 to 4 nights of night closures. There were notams sent out for 2 of those night closures. There will be a night closure tomorrow night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those will start at 9 p.m. at night and go till 6 a.m. They did give me a week notice. So that was the whole thing. They wanted to do this last week, and I told them no, that I needed a week notice to let everybody know and give you guys a chance to at least be happy about the runway being open before we closed it again. So I know that it's been a struggle. Yeah, exactly. But after talking to several people, the consensus that I got from the tenants and several pilots was that it wasn't a problem for night closures as much as during the day. A lot of the instructor pilots and instructors were doing the daytime stuff. The notams have been sent again for the closures for tomorrow and Thursday, but I can't do Friday until we're 3 days out. And because it falls in, well, I don't want to confuse y'all, but for the pilots, we've got the Zulu time. So it falls 5 hours ahead right now. So we really fall into, it's actually when we're closing Wednesday night, we're really closing Thursday morning. It's kind of a, so if you see the notams, that's what that is. And I'll send you a note or an update on anything else that might transpire. The taxiway Alpha, it will continue to be closed. They will keep all of their equipment behind that taxiway, right there at Delta. It'll all be kept back there. There won't be any problem for anybody approaching on the runway. Back taxi procedures will still be in effect. That is, I heard today, they were hoping for the 13th, which would be this Thursday, and it won't be. I do not have a date as to when that'll be open. I would hope before the end of the month, but I will give you guys an update on that as soon as I know. That's all I have on that.
Any questions on that?
I would just, I'm not sure why I think it's such, I'm pretty sure it's wrong. I had an opportunity to use the first 10 feet of 3-4 this morning, and that, I could do that because we haven't painted this place professional yet. And I'm quite honestly glad that it was there. The bottom line is we still got that big hump where it was before. And was that not part of our runway? I mean, you guys know that's pretty good.
Yeah, I would like to see it taken out of there, but no, that was not part of it.
I thought it was.
I don't know why, but I thought it was too. I thought they were gonna fix this runway.
Nothing I ever heard would fix that hump in the dip out there. Not in this project.
Not this one.
Can you guys describe this hump a little bit more? Am I just landing too long or what?
Well, if you land about right,
take it off there. And once it's painted, you shouldn't be messing around in there, but I didn't have any choice this morning. So that's the only reason I know. But I was thinking this thing should, I mean, that's long-term
Well, I'll be sure and check on that. I'm curious too. I would
You
be
know,
happy to find out.
I never heard it, I just assumed that it was gonna be taken care of, because it is a,
Well, it wasn't one of the panels that they had the problem with, was the thing. And as I understood it, the only thing they was working with was the panels that they had cracks in.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Yeah.
It's all on the north end, from the middle on north. That's my understanding.
they fixed something,
Yeah, they fixed
They
some
fixed
down on
some
the south end.
you bet they have, yeah. On the east side, 3/4 of the way down, well, that's why that paint came up, for a display special, because they worked right there.
Now, I do, you touched on something as far as the markings. If you notice, when you do go out, those markings aren't yellow, the arrows are not yellow anymore, they're white now. So we've captured that extra 200 feet for takeoffs now, which, that was explained to me today, getting to know the lay of the land and what's going on in the history and everything.
I'd just be interested to know, like I said, I can't tell you why I think that, but it's just somewhere in the back of my brain, it seems like somebody said that'll be taken care of.
Oh, absolutely, we have to follow up on that for you.
That'd be great.
You bet.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, an update on hangars 20B and 20C.
Ron Jewell and stopped in the office the other day. I've been trying to get in touch with him. Justin had left me some information about that to follow up with him. He came in, actually a surveyor came in first, and then I gave him information on how to file. Apparently they have not filed yet their 7460, the airspace with the FAA. That must be filed and everything must be good with the FAA before we can give any permits out. I talked to Cody down at the city, and that was the consensus on his part too. He wants to make sure they're up with the FAA. So what I did is I've dealt a lot with that in the past, as far as that's mainly what I took care of out at the last airport I was at. And they weren't aware of how to work the system and stuff. So what I did, I sat down with them to show them on the website how to go in and take care of their 7460 and explain to them the different processes, the steps. Once they get that, it takes 30 to 40 days once you fill that out. But in filling that out, you have to have your coordinates and your longitude and your latitude and longitude. So they'll need that, they'll need height of the building and different things and drawings. Once they get that information, fill out that 7460, what they call it, which is an airspace evaluation. They'll send it to the FAA. The FAA usually takes about 30 to 45 days to process that. I asked them that once they got that number, once they registered and got that information from the system, they'll be assigned an aeronautical steady number. Once they're assigned that number, if they were to give that to me, then in a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I can call a couple of key people that I know that deal with that all the time and let me know where they are with the process. So basically, that's the first thing. They needed to do a survey, and they hadn't done that yet. So basically, that's where we are right now with that. I'll keep on that and make sure we keep proceeding forward with that. As far as more, I just want to let you guys know that we have had several inquiries on the hangar availability and some of the inquiries on the development also. What I'm doing is I just got a really good recent aerial that the engineers have sent me today. They're fabulous. It's recent of all the construction development we've done over here. And they're going to get that larger. What I need is, and then they've blown it up of the development areas so that the places, I'm not sure what it was plotted at. I haven't dug through all the papers yet. I'm getting there. In the next week, I hope to have that as far as dimensions of what those hangars are supposed to be out there. I've got one guy that's interested and needs that information. And then we'll go forward with that. I'll keep you guys in the loop on that.
Okay, item number 8, discussion of the pilot's airport pilot lounge project. And you covered a little of that, but
Yeah, I kind of went into that. Sorry about that, you guys.
Oh, that's okay.
Basically, that's I called around to try to catch on that and talk to Justin a little bit to try and stay on top of that and get that going. There was also a little concern from Bill Myers, as far as how that would be, the oversight of that project would be. He's trying to go easy on us as far as if he's not the project manager and doesn't have to charge us all that. He was wondering if somebody could step into that. I know that we've talked about how it's going to be all pieced out, and that the city, what they want to do is they want to use as many of their people as they can to try and do a lot of that to keep it under budget, to keep it within that 50,000. In doing so, Bill Myers, who I guess you guys are all familiar with, Myers Engineering, I talked to him probably about 20 minutes on the phone about the process. I'm happy to coordinate and do that kind of stuff and be here and that type of thing, but I'm not a project manager and I don't have that expertise. So Bill and I were kind of thinking about, and I told him I'd have to run it past everyone, and I don't mind, again, being coordinator or being that contact person and helping out and trying to push this through. I just, again, somebody's going to have to do some type of project management to make sure that everything that the contractors are doing is done to specs and done correctly. So it was just a small conversation we had. It wasn't,
What about city inspectors?
Yes. And that's where the city said they'd come in.
Yeah, I mean, with Cody's group, can they just act as our owner's rep for the project and, you know?
That's what I was thinking. Because again, like I said, I'm right here and I'd be happy to help in any way I can to try and move this along.
If we have a project manager, he's gonna check and make sure it's right, but he's still gotta satisfy the Guthrie city inspectors.
Yes.
Just eliminate,
Okay.
if they're willing to do that.
And Jim Fish is the guy that ought to be doing that.
Thank you. Okay, I will.
Take that back, not Jim.
No, it would be Hanky.
Jim Hanky, not
Jim
Jerry,
Hanky.
Jim Hanky.
Yeah.
And Jim's knowledgeable enough to,
Yeah, Hanky knows.
he's gonna know if
Okay,
they're not putting
very
it
good.
all.
Well, I'll definitely be pushing this forward and trying to keep it moving and forward momentum, and see if there's anything, nip this in the bud and try and get going on that. I think a lot of it will have to do on where we stand with the bids and what we get back for those. But, I don't think it's any really big deal. I think it can be handled, and I think we can move forward with that. Hopefully we'll have something going by next meeting.
Okay. Any questions on covering that?
On section B, which is the electrical, I'm sure that there's
Yeah, there's electrical inspector.
what I'm getting at is, we talked about making sure that we got our computer cables and Wi-Fi, and all that. Do you know for whether that's included in that particular section?
I do not.
Might be good just to double check that.
I will.
Because that's, like Trevor said, we might have to have those computers, so.
Well, and there might be a little forethought about where we need to drop landlines and outlets, you know, to make sure we're spotting them up right.
There are some plans that I came across. I'm not sure how up to date they are now that it's all changed with this, but I can look into those and get back with the guys next month. I'll put that as no to check on that. But absolutely, I agree. The pilot's lounge, you need to have all that stuff right contained in that, and be able to get weather and see with the Wi-Fi. Also, and with us having Wi-Fi here, it shouldn't be a problem to get that all connected up.
This may be unwelcome minutia, but since we're not in the city, or maybe we are, is there a code specifically that you must have exhaust fans where you have a shower in the bathroom? Is that part of this? Maybe it's part of HVAC? I just want to make sure we don't have to add that.
I think on some of this, there's didn't Myers draw up a complete requirement, specs.
As far as I know that they
Yeah.
have, they didn't include it in this.
I thought that I saw on the computer that, whoever bids on these has to send $25 to Myers for that particular set of,
Yeah, the bid back.
specs.
Right.
And so I'm sure it's probably in that set of specs. So if you got $25, you can give it to Myers and get them.
I'm on the advisory board, I keep my name. I just get to make a statement.
I'm joking.
No, it's a small enough area that if a couple guys take a shower, and
Absolutely.
it's summertime, and, start fogging the place up in an unpleasant manner. Now's the time as opposed to the hump in the runway later.
No.
Yeah, you might check with Myers and see if we can get a copy of those specs and somebody come in and kind of take a look at them.
Oversee and make sure we've got all that stuff,
Most of
absolutely.
the stuff is covered.
I would think that anytime you build anything like that, it's,
Well, he's got to have
He's-
specs.
yeah.
yeah, they're gonna,
Yeah.
Well, and we have a code requirement in there.
doesn't make sense without it. Okay,
Yeah, but we need to look at it
absolutely.
ourselves. Okay. Any other questions on that project? If not, we're down to action items, and since there's none, item number 10 is adjournment. So I will entertain.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a second, vote.
Hi.
Aye.
Is this a record?
Well, I just want to say thank you for welcoming me to the board. This is my first official meeting. I guess the second one. The first one. The first one was a little lax, but I appreciate it and look forward to working with every one of you. And obviously, our new airport manager's already doing a fine job. So, congratulations on welcome aboard. And I was commenting to Glenn. I'd been on vacation. I had my airplane over in Cushing, and I flew to Destin, Florida, and I came back and I thought I was flying into Class B airspace on Friday afternoon, getting back into the airport. I thought we needed a control tower. So, but it was nice.
Oshkosh South.
Yeah, it was nice to land back home for once. So,
Okay.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Roger?
I just would be interested after we're all done, if anybody went to Oshkosh, what they saw that was,
I didn't make it.
how the new F-35 looks, since we're all paying for it.
No, I didn't make it. Cheryl?
Nope, everybody's spoken well, so
Okay.
onward.
I was real happy with all the way the action items came out, so.
They were easy to please.
Okay. Dick, you got anything?
Everything's squared away. Good deal. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Randall?
No, good job. Yeah, that'd be good. I want to thank Shalon for all the coordination and getting the runway open, and in case y'all don't know it, my wife was the first one out here to make a takeoff and landing.
Good.
Larry, you got anything?
Good to meet you, Shalon. I'm really glad to have you here. Hear a lot of good things about you and your expertise, so look forward to working with you.
Okay.